before we really get into the meat of today's episode, I really want to appreciate. I'm really excited to announce that we are now live on all platforms, not just Spotify, not just YouTube. We have an Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We are live on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Please go check out another sports rant. If you listen on the podcasting side, please rate and review. Love to get the interaction. I appreciate it. But anyway, today we are talking about college basketball and really what's been happening recently. I think there's two really main things that have come down the pipeline so far, and that was in women's college basketball. Juju and USC took down number 1 UCLA. Juju, let me get my notes out here, had 38 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 8 blocks. She's a guard, by the way. She's only 6'2". She is 6'2". She's 19. And we thought Caitlin Clark was impressive. That is half the team. That's half her team's points. They defeated UCLA 71-60. Pretty much scored half her team's points. She's the offense is Juju. She's and that was allegedly the best team in the NCAA, according to the AP poll, which can be proven wrong more often proven wrong than not. We are just saying in women's sports has just had this great big upheaval, and it is cool. It is fashionable. It is a stock to buy right now. There are stars like her. There are stars like her and Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. Talk about Caitlin Clark a lot on the show. It's 38 points. She was too shy of a 40 burger herself. And damn near a triple-double. Double-double, but still it's 8 blocks with blocks, which is 8 blocks is insane. Doing it on both ends, this is some generational stuff we're saying from Juju. Juju Watkins, what a stud. What an utter stud for USC. It's awesome. It's just awesome to see. We just like to see it. We like to see greatness. And she's great. Anyway, tomorrow we have one of the rare occurrences to happen in college basketball, and that is Alabama versus Auburn. The number 1 seed and the number 1 ranked team over all time. Number 1 ranked team and the number 2 ranked team in college basketball. This is going to be a barn burner. I watched a couple of those their games. A lot of similar opponents. Of course, they're both in the SEC. They're both really kind of a number 1 seed for sure. They're both in the coaches poll. Alabama is number 1, and in the AP poll, Auburn is number 1. They are both led by utter studs. Auburn has they're just really, really well coached. They're really impressive. None of them would beat UNM, but anyway. I noticed a lot with Auburn's. I want to talk about Auburn first, because this game is really just a coin flip, and I'm excited to just sit there and watch it, because I haven't really watched a whole lot of SEC ball. I've been watching a lot of Mountain West because I live in Albuquerque, and I watch the Lobos a lot, and so it's different. You get a different feel, and I feel like the SEC is kind of flooding the top 25 right now, especially for just basketball. But I was watching. I went back, watched the Duke game with Auburn, watched the game against Vandy, which they did not play great against Vandy. They have this very very interesting way that they start games. They'll start off really hot. They started hot off against Duke. Duke beat them. They started really hot against Vandy, and Vandy got very close to beating them. It was like this. They have these transitional periods where they are super super hot, where they like get that first 5 minutes of the first half, they'll eat you alive offensively. They are so good. It like you blink and it's 20-5, and then like suddenly they cool off, and they kind of get worked, and it's like, oh shit, they're starting to come back. Like we saw that with Vanderbilt. Like they were. I think it was like with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Like they were up like 24. They were up high. They were up a lot of points, and Vandy just kind of started to just. They get an open layup, and then it's all Vandy from there. At the half, they were only leading by like 2 points, and then Vandy comes back and takes the lead in the second half and starts getting momentum. But then they eventually quash it, and they go and they beat Vanderbilt, and it's all fine and days. Like they had another really hot run. But I know basketball is a game of runs, but that is kind of concerning, especially for what Alabama has. Grant Nelson and Clifford Omari are both 6'11". They're huge down low. And they have a really good point guard. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I can only think, anytime I think of a good point guard, Donovan Dent just kind of invades my brain, so I apologize. I think his last name's Clark. But these two teams are probably going to be conveying they're going to be conveying for the title in March and April. I'm sorry, I have to look this guy up. I keep drawing a blank on his name. He's a point guard for Alabama. So sorry. Oh my gosh. We'll edit this out. Mark Sears. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. That was we'll edit. We'll probably have to do a lot of editing there, but Mark Sears is his name, the point guard from Alabama. He's a real good player. I'm sorry. Every time, like I said, anytime I think of a good point guard, all I think of is Donovan Dent. So I mean, he's a really good shooter, great distributor, but they're huge in the front court, and they're defensively. It feels like like I was watching them play Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt kind of was like going back and forth. Vanderbilt's not a bad team, but it's a good comparison team. You know what, they can kind of play them. They're good enough to play them well, and they're both in conference, so they played them both, and it's kind of weighing those matchups. And Vanderbilt is like you watch Alabama's team. Sorry. They're just, it's like everybody is like 3, 4, 5 blocks. I'm like, dude, like it feels like every time they go down, bam, it's off the glass, bam, it's up in the air. Their defense is solid, and they're huge. They're a big team. They got 3 guys who are 6'11" on there, according to ESPN's roster. But still, there's some trees So absolute trees. So I really don't know. I've been researching it all day, essentially. I've just been watching so much SEC basketball now. I'm kind of blue in the face. I really, I really want to take Alabama, like roll tide, baby. But Auburn's just too good offensively. I think even just when it comes to those, I think when if they are streaky and hot, they will win the game. If it's like when it comes down to it, who will make a shot? I think it's Alabama. It's Auburn. Excuse me, it's Alabama. So they're all in Alabama. It's Auburn out like sorry, but some history is going to be made. Somebody's going to go down. It's like, okay, they lost to the 1 seed, or they were the 2 seed and they lost to, or the 2 seed and they beat the 1 seed. It's not really a big deal. It's exciting. It's the first time in a while since Memphis and Tennessee were both 1 and 2 and both in the same state. So that's really cool history. I just really like watching this college basketball. Watching college basketball has been a lot of fun, especially with how like the NBA has been recently. Just because there's different styles and different fights and different things. Like tomorrow, we also have New Mexico and Utah State. I feel so much better talking about this one because I watch a lot more Mountain West ball, and I like watching it because it's like these college teams have their own identity, and they're not all pros, and they're not all excellent shooters, so they have to make do with what they have, and so you get a different like identity with different teams. But I'm really excited to see the Mountain West is going to be up for grabs tomorrow. New Mexico in the pit plays Utah State. That's going to be big pivotal game. Sold out crowd. Utah State was ranked. Now they're not. We'll see. If UNM will get ranked, probably not. I doubt if UNM beats Utah State tomorrow that they'll get it. Don't matter the margin. If they'll get ranked, I doubt they'll get ranked. We've not even though we are doing some historical things, they continue to kind of disrespect us. But anyway, comparing the college basketball game right now to like NBA. It's just nice. It's nice to watch. But speaking of the NBA, I was watching the All-Star game. I've been watching. I love just to sit there and watch the celebrity All-Star game because it's like makes you feel a lot better about your athleticism. It's like there's Drewski out there. Like it's like oh yeah, it's when you can watch some average people play basketball. It's like watching. I've even seen rec runs better than that, but the. Also they have some like really high level athletes. Like the MVP this season, this game was Olympic high jumper. So I go and it's just like it's funny to see like or you'll see like Myles Garrett in there like a couple years back or like DK Metcalf. It's like they're really good athletes. And it's like they can jump out of the fucking gym if they wanted to. Anyway, I like watching those. I know there's like Kai Cenat was in there, kind of just sat there and screamed the entire time. That's kind of what he does. I don't know. Not big on Kai Cenat, but anyway, Noah Kahn he's one of my favorite music artists right now. Listen to a bunch of him. He was there. I was kind of shocked, and it's like, he starts posting on his Instagram story. He's like training, and I'm like, Noah Kahn's gonna go to the All-Star game. That's gonna be cool. And if he sees this, I'm gonna tell him, you just gotta hold that release a little bit longer. It's like the shot's nice. You hold your release a little bit longer, man. You're chilling. You're golden. You're golden. Other than that, like it's like the lays were looking actually pretty nice from him. But I like Celebrity All Star Game is so funny. I think it's hilarious, and I think that's the point. That's one thing that they've done really well. I watched the new the Rising Stars with the new format, and I actually kind of like it. You know, everybody was kind of shitting on like, oh, they just changed the All Star Game again. It's gonna be shitty. It's like it's not. It's not really that. I liked how it's like games to 40, so like you can kind of try, and you're not gonna get you're not gonna get gassed on a game like a game to 40. You can kind of do it pretty. It's pretty quick. Like they did 3 games, like a 3-game tournament in a night, essentially for for the Rising Stars. And so it was like, oh yeah, you can play. It's like the games kind of go quick. You can get like there's effort, like those like I was watching. They were running up and down the floor. I hope we can get to see that tomorrow, but we'll see what they decide to do. Should be like it seems actually pretty fun. There, but there. Then again, it is the All-Star Game, which I've mentioned before. We kind of treat it. I feel like we treat like the NBA players, kind of treat it like a middle school dance. We have to be there, but nobody wants to actually do anything. They're like yeah, you got to show or like a company like Christmas party. And it's like you're getting like the sliver of pizza and some like knockoff soda. And it's like, great job, guys! You're doing so well. It's like, can we just not? Can we just go home? I would like to go home. And there's like a shit. Like, it kind of feels better to be like snubbed as an all-star rather than having to like show up there and like do all this media stuff. Like, I don't know. The all-star like just like. Like being like named an all-star would be is awesome, but like also like Anthony Davis is like kind of being like, thank God I got injured, right? So he doesn't have to go play in it essentially because it's it feels kind of stretched. Like it would be cool to go to an all-star game, to go to like a Pro Bowl or like the home run derby for baseball, but. Because you get to see everybody there, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's that guy, right? But also, it is like it is kind of like an elementary school like pizza party. You get about this much pizza and some cheap soda, and everybody would be like, yeah, can we just go home? If we're not like doing anything productive, can we just go home? But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm just, like I say, I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just do this for fun. But that's probably going to be the video. Like I said, go follow the Instagram, @AnotherSportsRant, Twitter, @AnotherSports. They're all @AnotherSportsRant. Go follow the TikTok. We're going to put some new stuff up there. And like always, peace out. Let's go!